Vijayadashamyaha Shubhakangshaha. So today is October the 8th, Dinankaha Ashtamaha. 8th of October, Saturday, Prathama Bhagaha, Vyakarana Bhagaha. First part of the class, Vyakaranam, doing the Tinganda Prakaranam, Divadiganaha. So let us do the Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje. Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Stada Bhutame Bhora Mama Mudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Undam Iti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani I Un Rul Ruk E Ong I ouch Hayavarat Lan Nyam Nam Jabin Gardadash Jab Gardadash Kapa Chata Chata Tav Kapaisha Sar Hal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. As always, vote of thanks, Dhanyavadaha to Kumud doing a lot of work, enormous amount of work, to Radha and Yuli also. And Vasu for recording all the time. Ravi is also here, and Kalpesh also in the background for help, and Ravi also for the Ramayanam document. Usual disclaimers: Savadhana Suchana. Anything we say in the class is not pramanam until you confirm for the Siddhanta from the Siddhanta Kaumudi or Mahabhashyam or Kashika. Okay, with those warnings, let us start. Now, last time we were looking at the Divadiganaha. We did the Prathana Sutram, the Ganavikarana Vidhayaka Sutram, which was the Divadibhyashyan, which is an apavada for Kartarishap. You already received many examples. Again, Kumud and Radha are doing a lot of work on these examples. Without them, it's not possible to put examples every day. So you see a lot of examples already have come to you with the Divadibhyashyan, which has been used in those examples. That's where we were finishing up last time. And then we had two special rules, Otashyani. If you have a Okarantamangam, Odantamangam, Tasyalopasya Shani Parataha. So special case with dhatu ending in Okara, we saw that example last time, the example Shyati. And then we also saw Nya Janorja, also special case, which is Shiti Parataha. Always keep in mind the domain of each rule. So this Otashani is only when Shyan follows, while this one is Nyajanorja, which we have seen the Sutram, our friend, which is the one prior to that. Always keep track of where you are in the Ashtadhyayi. So Pa, Gra, Dma, Sthabna, which we have used repeatedly. Pa becomes Pibati, Gra becomes Jigrati, and so on. This one is Anantaram Sutram. The next Sutram, Nyajanorja. It's also Shiti Parataha. And with Shiti is coming from down here. So that we saw last time. We already got the examples over here. I think there's one example here about Jayate. A Jayant example already you have seen. So you have all the steps are given. There's nothing special. Basically, this dhatu Jan takes the Ja Adesha. Shiti Parataha. Now why Shiti Parataha? Because this dhatu, the other dhatu in that sutram, which Panini has given, which is the dhatu Nya Avabodhane, that's not in the Divadiganaha. That's in the Kriyadiganaha. We'll see it later when we cover that Ganaha. So that's what we did last time. Today I just put this one sutram over here for the Divadiganaha. Shamam Ashtanan Dirghashyani. Now all these rules should be, at this point, quite honestly, if you followed all the lessons, you should be able to read the vritti, try to make some reasonable sense out of it. In most cases, sometimes it's a complicated sutram, but many rules are going to be quite easy for you now. You have the basic building blocks. I hope you're getting a feel for the Ashtadhyayi, for the Paninian system, for the Paninian engine, how this Panini engine runs. You know, that's what I experienced also. When I was learning Vyakaranam, when I came to this part of Tingandam Prakaranam, towards the middle part, later part, kind of later half, at that point I felt confident now I can look up any sutram on my own and try to make reasonable sense out of it. So once you get that, as I said, if you can read Siddhanta Kaumudi on your own, you don't need the class. So I hope at some point here in the next year or two, maybe even right now, you're getting to that point. Getting to that point slowly. That's the objective, because we cannot cover every rule in the class. No class can cover every nuance. You have to study on your own and be like you say in English. You cannot look at the whole dictionary in class. If you know how to use the dictionary, then you can learn English you can look up on your own. Okay, Shama Ashtanam Dirghashyani, very straightforward sutram. Shama Dinam Ashtanam. So these 8 dhatus, beginning with the dhatu Sham. And when he says Shama Dinam, it means in the dhatu Patha Anukramena. Anukramaha, this is along in the order of the dhatu Patha. When Pani says Adi, means dhatu. So Shama Ashtanam means Shama Dinam. The 8 verbal roots beginning with Sham, and they are as follows: Shamu Upashame, Tamu Kangshayam, then Damu Upashame. You can look at the numbers, it's number 98, 99, 100, etc. in the Divadiganaha. Shramu Tapasi Chedecha, Brahmu Anavasthane, Kshamu Sahane, Klamu Glano, and Madi Harshe. They take the Dirgha Adesha. Now let me warn you that the Dirgha Adesha is only for the Acha. The Hal does not have any Dirgha Rasa Bhelaha. So that is understood. So when Pani says Dirgha Rasva, etc., that's only for the Ach, not for anything else. Because actually there is a Paribhasha Sutram which we have not included in the document because it's kind of straightforward. It's 1.2.28. 1.2.28 says Achashcha. Sutram is Achashcha. Achashcha Sutram. There is a Paribhasha Sutram. 1.2.28 Achashcha. Paribhashayam sthani niyamartha rastu dirgha prataha swasanyaya shishyamanaha acheva sthani veditavyaha. This is a Paribhasha Sutram which actually we can include in a document. With straightforward Sutram, he says that Rasva Dirgha Prataha, I think this is probably a typo here, should be a Bahuvachanam. Shishyamanaha acha eva sthani veditavyaha. So when Panini uses the word Rasva, uses the word Dirgha or Pluta, Pluta is not for us because that's mainly in Vedic, not for us. But anyway, for us, Dirgha and Rasva and Panini say using the word Dirgha Rasva. In that case, so Rasva Dirgha Plutaha, Swasanyaya Shishyamanaha, Achaha eva sthane veditavyaha. So by that Paribhasha Sutram 1.2.28, we can understand that this is kind of obvious. So we didn't put a document because the vowels only have these long and short varieties. Not for the consonants. So when you say dhatu sham, means obviously the akara, there's only one vowel there, the akara of sham. Same thing with tam, etc. So example, we take the form shamyati. Dhatu is this divadigana, shamu upashame, and straightforward prakriya. This is the it letter has the udatta swaraha. So it has no lakshanam, no indication for bringing in a atmanipar pratyaya. We cannot apply either anudattanyata atmaniparam or suritanyata kartavipraya kriyaphale. So by default, sheshat krati parasyapadam, we get the parasyapada pratyaha. So sham plus lat anubandha lopaha, then tiptashji yatha yogyam, as the case may be. Then divadibhyashyan, because you see it becomes divadigana, 4th ganaha. Now, as I mentioned to you last time, why is this the 4th ganaha? Because, of course, kartri shap is the default. That's what's called the prathama ganaha. So, I shouldn't say prathama ganaha. Actually, kartri shap is for every dhatu, no matter what it might be. Because all the derived dhatus, which we study later now, not too far away, they will not be in any gana as such, but they will take shap only. So and then so that is like the first or default ganaha is kartari shap. Then after that, what happens is that we took the 2 ganas where the shap is elided, is dropped, and those were the adipapradibhya shapaha, which came 2-4 again in order of the Ashtadhyayi, 2-4-72. Then there was the 2nd gana, and juhotyadibhya shluhu became the 3rd ganaha. And then after that, now we come back to the section in 3.1 and 3.169. Divadibhyashan is the 4th ganaha. That's how this number 1, 2, 3, 4 they come about. And today we're going to see the next one, which is this Swadibhyashnu, fifth gana, then the Tudadibhyashaha, sixth gana, Shashtaha, and then Udadibhyashnam, seventh, Tanadikribhya, which you already seen. So with the eighth gana, Karadibhyashna is the ninth gana. So that's how we'll see this. But just when you see the Dhatu Patha number here, 4.97, you know it's the Divadi gana. And this Dhatu Patha which you have online, you can see also in the Dhatu Patha order, all these Dhatus. So it's Atha Shamadayaha. So the Shamadayaha are outlined in the Dhatu Patha with a caption on top, so you know which ones they are. So Shamu Upashame, Tamu Kangshayam, Damu Upashame, Shramu Tapasi Khedecha, Brahmu Anavasthane, Kshamu Sahane, Klamu Kalano, Madi Harshe. This is Ityashtav Shamadayaha. Okay, so example is straightforward. So up to this point there should be no surprise at all. Up to this point, up to the Shamyati, there should be no surprise, you know. Samanyani Karyani, just as before, Yatha Purvam, as we did before. And only last step is Shamyati. Special rule, Shamamashtanam Dirghashani. Any new sutram, the best thing you can do, I keep on saying over and over again, repeat the sutram as many times as you can. It will stick in your head. It has been optimized, perfected over generations. So it will be the best, it is the shortest way to learn Vyakaranam, is to repeat the sutram and memorize. It will get memorized automatically. Shamamashtanam Dirghashani, Shamamashtanam Dirghashani, Shamamashtanam Dirghashani. After that, you can look at the vritti also. Shamadina Mashtanam Dirghabhavati Shani Parata. So that's the one rule. Now we cannot cover every rule in the class, but I'm just picking up the main important ones just to give you a flavor. If you, for example, if you saw this dhatu being used, did not know the Dirgha Vidhayaka Sutram, you can go to Siddhanta Kaumudi or go to the dhatu vritti, and I think I mentioned in this class, if I have not, I mentioned again that the dhatu vritti is a very important work on the Dhatu Patha by Madhava, or alternately also Sayanacharya. It gives every dhatu, which also Siddhanta Kaumudi also does that, but this is a work only on dhatus. It's very nicely written work, not very difficult to understand. So for every dhatu at the very top, Madhava will give the Tinganta rule. So you can, so by this point, if you know all these steps except the last step, you can look it up. It's not that difficult. You know all these steps. Only thing you're wondering how it became Shamyati. That's the only question. You can quickly go to Siddhanta Kaumudi and see that dhatu there. You can go to Dhatu Vritti and see the dhatu there and quickly find out. Also, you also can email us and we can also respond very quickly. So if most of this is the fun of the, now you can have some fun with the Vyakaranam. You know most of the steps, maybe one or two small details are missing for you. Try to find them. That makes it more interesting for you. So, okay, so Shamyati. In the Udaharana Suchi, we have put one more dhatu here to look at, dhatu tras. Divadiganaha trasi udvege. Tras is to be troubled. But the sham is to be calm, to be quiet, to be at rest. So trasi udvege, number 4.11. So if you look at 4.11, in the dhatu patha, let's see what kind of a swara this dhatu has. So, I mean, on the it letter. So, trasi udvege is again udatta it. So, it will be parasipadi dhatu. So, the reason I put in dhatu patha, I mean, in the Udharana Suchi, is because this will take vikalpena shan. Vikalpena shan. The sutra which we have seen is 3.170. Nothing new for this one. We have already seen this rule 3.170. Let me go to Sutra Suchi and put it up for us. 3.170. It says that Va Bhrasha Bhlasha Brahmu Kramu Klamu Trasi Truti Lashaha. Notice that in the Dhatu Patha, the Trasi had Ikara as an it, Dirgha Ikara. In the Sutram, Panini has used a Pratyashtip. So Ikshtipao Dhatu Nirdeshe. So this was Ikshtipao Dhatu Nirdeshe. So this is the Trasi. Even though it's a Rasa Ikara in the Dhatu Patha, it is a Dirgha Ikara as an it. But in the Sutram, Panini has used the Ik, because Ikshtipo Dhatu Nirdeshe. So this Trasi, Truti and Lashaha. Among these, so these take Ebhya shan kartritve sarvatike pare pakshe shap. So these take shan or shap optionally. Shan or shap optionally. One of them is tras. If you look at the numbers, we just saw this dhatu Brahmu will also be in the Shamamashtanam. This also will become Brahmyati optionally. So Brahmati or Brahmyati comes in Gita. Brahmati vache, Brahmati vachame manah, Brahmati iva chame manah, Brahmati iva chame manah comes in Gita. It also becomes Brahmyati. And here, because you look at this number also, this is Klamu is also going to become Kalamyati optionally. And this one is Trasi, which you're seeing right now. So there is an overlap between these and the Shamamashtanam Diyagashini, which we just saw. Those are from 98 onwards to 105. So if you look at the numbers here, we have here Brahmu Anavasthane, 102 is here, and we have Klamuglana, 104 is here. Those two are overlapping between this and that one, between the Shamamashtanam and the Va Bhrasha Bhrasha Brahmu Kramu Klamu Trasi Triti Lashaha. So these are the ones that take the Shan optionally, and when they don't take Shan, then they default to Kartari Shap. Everything defaults to Kartari Shap, unless something else is specifically said, Kartari Shap Sarvadhatuke. So example here in the Udharana Suchi, nothing special. So when we get the beyond the optionality of Shan, there's nothing special here. Anyo Vishesha Nasti, there's nothing special. So when in the Shan Pakshe, when you get the Pratyaya Shan become Trasyati, and when the Shap you get become Trasati. That's all, nothing else. I mean all the other steps, Latlakaraha, Tiptaji, Anubandha Lopaha, then in this case Divadibhya Shan and Pakshe Kartari Shap. So this the Usargaha. So and then Trasyati Trasati. That's all. So that now ends this discussion of I'll put the table here. Once you get the Angam, like we have Bhavati, Bhavataha, Bhavanti and so on. Same thing here. Trasyati, Trasyataha, Trasanti. So Shesham Samanyam. Remaining are all usual rules, nothing special. So we put this one, and this is Shap Pakshe, Trasati, Trasaha, Trasataha, Trasanti and so on. We also put the Dhatu Vyad, but as it turns out, you already have the example which came to you on October 1 about Vidyati. So we can look at this one itself. What happens here is that this Pratyaya Shan is Sarvadhatukam Apit Gnitvat. It's already been covered in the example, in a daily example. So these daily examples are the backbone of the class. We have limited time in the class, and also you also limited time to attend the class, which is understandable. But the examples are going to stay, and they're going to be available whenever you have time. You can look at them. So always try to look them up whenever you have time. So Shan is Sarvadhatakam Apit, and then because of that, we can now use this sutram for Samprasaranam Grahijya Vai Vyadhi Dhatu Vyad. We take Samprasaranam Niticha. So Kiti Niticha. Prior sutram was Kiti, and this one is Niticha. So when Kit or Nit Pratyaya follows, take Samprasaranam, and then Igyana Samprasaranam, and then with the Nyapakam Na Samprasaranam. So that is it is when Samprasaranam follows, then you cannot do Samprasaranam to the prior one. So what happens is that the last one takes Samprasaranam, and then the prior ones don't take Samprasaranam. So in the Dhatu Vyad, we have this Yan. We have two of them, right? So we have two of them, which is the Vakara and Yakara. But by Na Samprasarana, which we have seen, which is here again. So now all these rules, we can start practicing all these rules. So like I think we had the Pratipadikam U1. We did the Pratipadikam U1. We had seen that rule. Na Samprasaranam. Let's see. Na Samprasaranam. Samprasarane Parataha. Purvasya Yanaha Samprasaranam Nasyat. So when a Samprasaranam follows, the Yan that precedes does not take Samprasaranam. So by this Nyapakam, the last Yan, the closest one to the Pratyaha, takes Samprasaranam first, and the other earlier Yan does not take Samprasaranam. So here we have this example, which you already got. We have vakara, yakara, and then the pratyaya shan is here, this yakara takes some prasaranam. And when that is following, this vakara will not take some prasaranam. So because we do some prasaranam with the vakara first, then there will be no use for the sutram na samprasarane samprasaranam. So in order to make the sutram na samprasarane samprasaranam meaningful, samprasaranam has to follow somewhere. And the only way it can follow is if the yakara takes samprasaranam first, and then by the nishedha na samprasarane samprasaranam, vakara does not take samprasaranam. So we get that igyana samprasaranam, so the yakara becomes ikaraha vidyati. So the shan pratyaya is sarvadhatukam apit. It will not cause any guna because of the kiniticha. It will also, as the case may be an occasion for some prasaranams. These are some of the things you have to watch out for. Okay, that completes the discussion of the divadi gana. Again, we have not seen every single rule, but you can always fill in the gaps, and we'll see some more later on as we go along. But this is a good foundation for the divadi gana. The next one is the panchama gana, which is the swadi gana. Actually, there's one more example put in the document here in Udharan Suchi, suyate. Nothing special here in this dhatu, only one atmanepadi dhatu. Same thing, once you form the angam suya, and pratyasyan, then it's like labhate, labhete, labhante, same thing. There's nothing special here. Also, same thing here, the pratyasyan, because of the sarvadhatukam apit. You see how important the sutram is now. Every time you have a sarvadhataka pratyaha, immediately check if it's pit or apit. If it's apit, it becomes nitvat, it becomes important. It cannot cause gunadesha. So you get, there's no gunadesha for the ukaraha, only get suya. Then, once you get the angam suya, then just like labhate, suyate, labhete, suyate, and so on, you put all these forms in the document. There's no vishesha karyam after that, nothing else. So, okay, let's come to the swadi ganahala. So we are now in 3.1 again, as I just told you, that we go in the order of the Ashtadhyay. So Divadi Vyashan we finished. We already looked at Diva, Bhrasha, Bhlash, etc. The next Gana Vikaranam is Swadi Vyashnuhu. So if you dhatu, this is also an apavada for Kartari Shab. All these here. This Divadi Vyashan, Swadi Vyashnuhu, then the Tudadi Vyashaha, Judadi Vyashnam, the Tanadi Kribhya Uhu, and also the Kradi Vyashna, they're all apavada for Kartari Shab. So if a dhatu belongs to the Swadi Ganaha, it says Gana Vikaranam Shnu. That's all very simple sutram. Just like Divadi Vyashan, same thing here, nothing special at all. So see, this is a Paninian system. You have to, it takes time to build the foundation. Once you build the foundation, things go very fast. At the beginning, you don't realize that. Why do we need Ashtadhyay to know Bhavati, Bhavataha, Bhavanti, etc.? I can memorize that. You can do that. But then when you come here, you again have to memorize all these tables. So now you see this Swadi Gana having only one sutram we need. Only one sutram. Swadi Vyashnuho. Shapopavada. That's it. Everything else is already done for us. So the Shnu Pratyaha is placed after the verbal roots of Swadi Ganaha, when followed by Sarvadhataka Pratyaha, that is Kartari, using the sense of agent. Apavada for Kartari, Shap. This Dhatu Su has a variety of meanings, but one of my Sanskrit teachers used to joke, this Dhatu is reserved for crushing the Soma creeper, Soma Yajna. This Dhatu Su is to distill. Also might be to sprinkle, etc. But this Dhatu Su is almost reserved for the Soma juice, crushing the Soma, which today is extinct, I guess. But let's see what uptake is for Dhatu Su. This Dhatu Su is not a very common Dhatu nowadays, but in the old days, if you look at Dhatu Su, it says, let's see, is to press or to extract juice. That's what I meant for the Soma creeper. To distill, to also to sprinkle in some of the say, and to perform a sacrifice, especially the Soma sacrifice. So this is the Dhatu, this Dhatu Su. But otherwise the steps are, this Dhatu has the Nyakara as an Itcha Varga Panchamaha. So by this time we all be familiar with that. Suritagnyataha Kartavipraye Kriyaphale becomes Ubhayapadi in short. So you can take Parasyapadam or Atmanepadam. You follow the usual steps. I hope I'm not going too fast because you get the daily examples, been following them. There's really nothing special up to this point because you get Vartamane Lat, Anubandha Lopaha, Tiptasji, Yatha Yogyam Tip Pratyaha Vivaksha is Pratham Purusha Ekavachanam, Anubandha Lopaha. And then instead of Kartri Shap, we get Swadibhyashnuhu. Swadibhyashnuhu. So up till this point is said. And once you get that, to be honest with you, rest of it is going to be very easy for us. Because we already had the form Shrunoti, etc., which we happened to encounter because the dhatu Shru was in the Bvadiganaha. And because the Sutram Shruvashrucha, which already we have seen, that dhatu took the Gana Vikaranam Shnu. So we have covered all the rules necessary for this. The Shruvashrucha has, because the dhatu Shru took the Gana Vikaranam Shnu and Tatsanniyogena in connection with that also took the Shru Adeshaha. We know we have covered all the necessary rules for this Gana. We don't need to cover any more rules. If you go back to Sutra Suchi, and look at the example for Shrunoti, etc., you will find that all the rules required for this have already been covered. So Shrunoti, if you look, okay, here are all of them. Shrunutaha, Shrunoti. So when we did only thing there, we did Shruvashrucha to get the Vikaranaha Shnu. Well, here we're using the Swadibhyashnu because this was an exception. This dhatu Shru is actually the Bvadiganaha. It exceptionally took the Shnu Gana Vikaranaha. But any dhatu which actually in the Swadiganaha directly takes the Gana Vikaranaha Shnu by Swadibhyashnu. So once you get that step, so when we had this Shru Nu Ti, same thing here also we have today. We have this Su Nu Ti. From then on, everything else is the same. Everything is absolutely the same. So there, what did we do at that time? We used Suram Sarvadhatukam Apit, our old friend by this time now. He's our old friend. We did Kiniticha to stop the Guna Adeshaha for the Rukar of the Angam. Today we have the Dhatu Su. So because of this, there will be no Guna Adesha for the Ukara of Su. Put the comment here because this is the Pratyaya Shnu by Ting Shit Sarvadhatukam, gets Sanya Sarvadhatukam Apit becomes Nitvat by Kiniticha prevents the Guna Adesha for the Angam. So all the same, once you form this step Su Nuti, all the remaining steps are the same steps that you had for Shrunoti. This will become Sunoti. Of course, there's no Nattam here. Nattas Nimittam Nasti. There's no reason for making Nakara Desha. So going back to the example of, so we did Kiniticha at that time and we got the form Shrunoti. In this case we get Sunoti. And then same thing Shrunutaha. So we get Sunutaha. Now let's look at the Udarana Suchi. So if you look at the table Sunoti, because Tip is a Pit Pratyaya, it can do the Guna Adesha for the Ukara of Nu. But the Nu is a Apit Pratyaya. It cannot do the Gunadesh for the Ukara because Sarvadhatukam Apit Kiniticha. Sunutaha, both Tas as well as Nu are Apit, so Sarvadhatukam Apit Kiniticha Gunanishedaha. So Sunvanti. Now Sunvanti, interesting Sandhi rules. Again, nothing new at all. Same rule you need for Shrunvanti, same thing. So when you have Su, Nu, then Jwantaha, Anti, to Sandhikaryam. First thing would have come the Iko-Anachi, Varna Niyamaha. Varna Niyama means it's just depending on letters, nothing, it's a very general rule, Iko-Anachi. So when you, at this step, in fact here, let me go back here, see Hushnava Sarvadhatu, okay. So when we had this form Shu Nu Anti, same thing here, Su Nu Anti, then Iko-Anachi wants to come here to the Yanna Adeshaha. Then come that 6177. Now 6477 is Achishta Dhatu Bruvam, your young Vangau. So the Shnu is mentioned in the Vepanini. We take the Uvanga Adeshaha, Achiparataha. That will create a problem for us. We create the Uvanga Adeshaha. So that is 6477. 64. So 6177 is Iko-Anachi. 6477 is Achishta Dhatu Bruvam, your young Vangau. Then finally comes Hushnava Sarvadhatuke. Hushnavo Sarvadhatuke. This is only revising, not a new sutram for today, but Hushnavo Sarvadhatuke says that Juhotehe, which you also we have seen already, Shnu Pratyayantasya Anekachaha Angasya Cha Asanyoga Purvasya Uvarnasya Yan Syat Ajado Sarvadhatuke. Angam has to be Aneka, which is we have here because we have Sunu. It has to be, but Asanyoga Purvaha, Ukaraha, Uvarnaha. Now, if we had a dhatu like Apnoti, that will become Apnuvanti. Because Apnu, when you have the word Apnu Anti, there the Ukara is Sanyoga Purvaha. So basically, if you have a Halanta dhatu followed by the Gana Vyakaranah Shnu, then the Ukara of Shnu will be Sanyoga Purvaha. You will not be able to use Hushnavo Sarvadhatu. Okay? So this is Asanyoga Purvo Varnasya. If you look at the, I hope you can recall some of the Ashtaja, look at the Sutra, which also we know. Irane Kacho Sanyoga Purvasya. So my teacher's favorite Sutram. Irane Kacho Sanyoga Purvasya. Asanyoga Purvasya comes down from there. So we cannot, if you have a dhatu like Ap, it become Apnu Vanti. Get the Uvanga Desha. So first become Ikonachi, but then in the case of Ap, you'll have to use Achishnu Dhatu Bruam, your young Vango. You will not be able to do Hishnu Sarvadhatuke Yanna Desha, because in that case you'll have Apnu. So Ukara will be preceded by Sanyoga of Pakara Nakara, Apnu. So you'll have to do the Uvanga Desha only by Achishnu Dhatu Bruam, your young Vango. So in this case, we have Su, Nu, Anti, so that Ukara is not Sanyoga Purvaha. So we can use Hushnavo Sarvadhatuke, make the Yanna Desha Sunvanti. Just like we had in Shunvanti, same thing here. Sunvanti, but if you have a Halanta Dhatu, followed by the Gana Vyakaranah Shnu, then Anubandha Lope Nu, then in that case, when you have the Ach following, you will not be able to do Hushnavo Sarvadhatuke Yan. You will have to do Uvang by Ashishadhatu Bhavang, your Ashishadhatu Bhavam, your Yungvangau. So we got the form Shunvanti, same thing here, by Hushnavo Sarvadhatu. Okay, one more time. Juhote Heshnu Pratyayantasyaneka Chongasya Cha Sanyoga Purvo Varnasya Asanyoga Purva Uvarnasya Asanyoga Purvo Varnasya Yansya Dajado Sarvadhatu. Okay, so we got the form Sunvanti. No, Sunoshi, Sunomi, nothing special. There's no new rule. We don't require any new rules. Only one single rule, which is the Swadibhyashno. And once you get that, the same steps as in Shunoti, etc. Of course, you will get the Shatvam by Adesha Pratyayoho, Sunomi. So here in these cases, these three always go together, almost always go together. So they're in both cases, Sarvadhatukam, Pit Gurunishedha. And here comes Sunvaha, Sunuvaha, Sunmaha, Sunumaha. There also we have covered when we did the Dhatu Shru. We have already seen that. That's the rule, which is Lopaschasya Nyatarasya Moho. Lopaschasya Nyatarasya Moho. Asanyoga Purvasya. Pratyokarasya. Lopova Moho Parataha. Same thing here. Should be Asanyoga Purvaha. If you have Sanyoga Purvaha, then this will not apply either. This will not apply either. But here we don't have any Sanyogaha, so we can get two forms, Sunvaha, Sunuvaha. Sunmaha, Sunmaha, Sunumaha. Moho. Only when Makara or Vakara follows. There's no Sanyoga, so this Lopaschanyatarasya Moho, Lopaschasya Natarasya Moho, Lopaschasya Natarasya Moho. Asya, because in the Ashtadhyayi order, in the prior sutram, Pranini had already talked about Utascha Pratyayada Sanyoga Purva. We already seen that when we saw the, in fact we can see it now again when we did the look of the Hi Pratyayaha. Lopascha Pratyayada Sanyoga Purvat. So Utascha Pratyayada Sanyoga Purvat. Utascha Pratyayada. So Asya referring to this one. Pratyi Ukaraha. which is asanyoga purvaha. So next sutra is lopaschasya nitrasya moho. Keep on repeating these rules. Keep on repeating them. Keep on repeating them. One day you'll get the confidence. I can do this. It's not too hard for me now. I can do it. Then from then it is easy. It is fun after that. You can have some fun. So okay, let's go back to this one. So we had lopaschasya nitrasya moho. We got the pratyaya ukaraha, which is narsanyoga purvaha. So yet the sunvaha, sunmaha. In lot, nothing special, means all the lot karyani, lot sambandhi karyani, but otherwise nothing special. Suno, this you get the eruhu, this tuyo statang anitrasyam, ashishinitrasyam, tuyo statang ashishinitrasyam. So there's all these old rules. Besides that, there's nothing special with regard to this gana, anything like that. It's all lot sambandhi karyani. So tuyos is one. Tuyos statang ashishinitrasyam. That tatang is a nyit. So guna nishedha by kiniticha. So suno tu sunutat. Here also loto langvat tastamipam tam tamaha tamadeshaha. And it's also nyit sarvadhatukamapit. Guna nishedha sunutam. Same thing here. Pushnuvo sarvadhatuke sunvantu eruho. Here we get this one. This is just like we had in the dhatu shru. We had this one. Utascha pratyayada sanyoga purvat. Prior sutram to this one referred to upon as asya in that sutram 64107. So here we have that the he pratyaya is lukka desha, which is preceded by the ukara of pratyaya, which is not sanyoga purvaha. So utascha pratyayada sanyoga purvat, utascha pratyayada sanyoga purvat, utascha pratyayada sanyoga purvat. So we get sunu. Then sunuta, same as before, tatangadeshaha nyit, sunutam, loto langvatasastim pam tam tamaha, similarly sunuta. Now here, as I said to you many times, immediately when you hear lot uttapurusha, you should immediately say aruthamasya picture, aruthamasya picture, aruthamasya picture. Immediately, lot uttapurusha, both parasya padam, atma padam, in either case, you should say aruthamasya picture. So art agamaha, and that's a pit. So it doesn't matter whether the pratyaya to which the agama came was a pit, doesn't matter. And everywhere in uttapurusha lot, you're going to get this art, and it's a pit. So then you're going to get the guna adesha for the angam becomes suno, echo yava yavaha, sunava. Then mirnihi, sunavani, sunavava, sunavama. Nothing special here. Same thing in the lung. Asunot, itascha, adagama everywhere here, lung rang rang, vadudataha, then tasastam pam tam tamaha, guna nisheda bekiniticha, sarvadhatakamapit. Here again, same thing, we get the Kushnavo sarvadhatuke, then itascha, sanyogantasya lopaha, asuno, nothing special in all of these forms. Here also you have the same thing, lopaschas, lopaschasya nitrasyam moho, which is the 64107. Same as before, lopaschasya nitrasyam moho. And when you come to the Vidiling, is straightforward because everywhere yasut prasnipadesh udato nitya. Nit means sarvatra guna nishedha by sarvadhatakam, kiniticha directly. Kiniticha will do it. Kiniticha directly. So you get sunu ya is common work. Then linga salopanantyasya. Sunya is common work with the usual warning my teacher always gave me is that we should not be doing this because the yasut is an agama to the pratyaya. It's not a part of the angam. Doing only for convenience, we think of the common work as sunuya, but the yasut belongs to the pratyaya, not to the angam. So then let's start with the same, itascha and so on, tasastam pam tam tamaha. Then we get jerjus, that becomes over here. So rest of it is all tasastam pam tam tamaha and so on. This Atmanipadam also nothing new. All the same words of Atmanipadam, all of these are going to be Sarvadhatakam pits everywhere, Guna Nishedaha. So Su, Nu, Te, Sunvate, Same thing, all of these places. There's no new rules coming over here. Sunvate, so that we can use Hushnuvo Sarvadhatuke. Hushnuvo Sarvadhatuke. Because first comes when you have the ach falling sunu, you're going to have the equanachi, then Achishuddhatu Bhuvam Yor Yungvango, finally Hushnuvo Sarvadhatuke. That will be the when ach is falling. So all of these, let's not go through all in the class, it'll take some too much time. You can take this for homework. Again, finally, also in Lord Uttapurushaha, you're going to get the usual Aruthamasya picture, then Eta, I, and so on. All these rules will come. So again, we get Su, Nu, plus A, plus the, first of all, we get Titapal Padanam Tere, so become A, then Eta, I, so they become A, I, then Atashcha Vruddhi, I, and then Suna Vai. Suna Vai. So if it's Su, Nu, Pratyaya was it, but Titapal Padanam Tere became A, Aruthamasya picture became A, Atashcha Vruddhi Ekadesha became I, Suna Vai. In the meanwhile, the Angam got Gunadesha became Suno, Echo Yava Yavaha, Suna Vai. No new rules, no new rules. Everything is same as before. Suna Vavahi, Suna Vavahi, and so on. So that is going to be, very quickly we finished up the Swadiganaha. Because of the fact that we already had done all these rules when we did a Dhatu Shru in the Bhadiganaha, because of Shruva Shrucha, taken the Gana Vikaranaha Shnu, and we had already had all those rules. So one more time, the rules that we used here is we used Ushnuvo Sarvadhatuke. So as long as, of course, we use Sarvadhatukam Apit and Kiniticha, which we know by now, and then we use Ushnuvo Sarvadhatuke as long as the Ukara has no Sanyoga prior to it. So we'll take a Yannadesha Achiparataha. So this Ukara of Shnu, this Ukara, it doesn't have a Sanyoga, which means the Dhatu is not ending in a Hal. So then in that case, Hushnuvo Sarvadhatuke gives the Yannadesha Achiparataha. And then we use Lopashasya Nitrasya Moho, Lopashasya Nitrasya Moho, Makara. Makara follows same condition, there should be no Sanyoga prior to it. Then become like, Sunvaha, Sunuvaha, Sunmaha, Sunumaha. And then we also use Utashcha Pratyad Sanyoga Purvat, becomes Madhyam Purusha Ekvashnam, becomes he takes look, becomes Sunu. So that's what we used. Now let's move on to so now we can see how quickly we are able to go through this Gana without, memorizing anything, without taxing ourselves too much at all. So we can now start using a lot of dhatus like Shaknom, Shaknoti, Heva, Shaknoti, etc. There are many dhatus in this Gana. So it's an important Gana. We think that there are no new rules, that's all. There are many dhatus in Divadi Gana also. Diva like Buddhyate, Trupyati. There are many dhatus in this Gana also. Like Divadi Gana. If you look at, in fact, let's go here for 1 second. If we look at the number of dhatus here, they're not small. I mean, Divadi Ganaha, this Chaturtha Ganaha, it has quite a few dhatus, in 250 or something. It has no 161, this one in this connection. And then the Swadi Ganaha also is not that small. Swadi Ganaha, yeah, actually it is not that big, I'm sorry. Swadi has 39 over here, 39. But still, it has some important dhatus in here. Now let's look at the Tudadi Ganaha. Now this one is not small, I'm sure. This one is not small. Tudadi Ganaha has, this has, I think, about 173 dhatus. So this is not very small at all. It's also going to be very straightforward. It's going to be very, very straightforward. Because the first sutram here, in the same Apavada list, Apavada for Shap, Tudadi Bhyashaha. Tudadi Bhyashaha. Now the difference between the Shap and the Shap clearly is that one is a Pit, one is not a Pit. Tudadi Bhyashaha. So if a dhatu does not fit in the Bhvadi Ganaha, but the Gana Vikaranaha is a Akaraha, then we have to bring it and try the Tudadi Bhyashaha. The Shaha will do is Sarvadhatukam, Apit becomes Nitvat. So which means that Kiniticha Guneneshida will come. So Dhatu Tud itself becomes Tudati. The moment you see the word like Tudati or a verb like Vishati, now you will know that the Gana Vikarana is Akaraha, but it is an Apit. It did not do the Guna Adeshaha by Puganta Laghupatasya Cha. Means this must be in the Tudadi Ganaha. So you can work backwards. If you see a form like tudati or vishati, etc., then you can realize that there was no guna adesha for the ach in the angam by puganta laghupatasya, which means this will not be in the vadigana, it will be in the tudadigana. So that's one reason of putting a dhatu in the tudadigana, is that these will not take the guna adesha, because of the fact sarvadhatukam apit, the pratyaya sha is a pratyasanya, clearly sarvadhatukam by thinks it's sarvadhatukam, but it's an apit pratyaya, so no guna adesha. Secondly, samprasaranam, like prichati. Pracha becomes prichati, because dhatu is pracha becomes prichati. So that will also not fit in the vadigana, because this one has become nitvat. So now we can go ahead and do samprasaranam by 6.1.16 by grahijya, vai, vyadhi, vashti, vichati, vrishchati, prichati, vrijjati. These are also there. So these are these dhatus which require to take samprasaranam. So therefore they are put in this gana, in the tudadi ganaha, so that by sarvadhatikam apit, the sha pratyaya sha is mitvat, it can then allow this 6.1.16 to apply. The third reason is beyond the scope of this class, is that there is a in the Vedas there is a swara bhedaha. Anudatta, there is a typo here. Vasu, the typo here, Vasu, I think there's a typo here. We have to correct this one. I think Anudatta should be right. This typo here. So Vasu informed somebody to correct this typo. Anudatta should be. Okay. There's a typo here. Anudatta should be Anudatta, right? Yeah. This is a typo. Yes, send a note to that. Thank you. Anudatta suppitau. So sup and a pit pratyaya. Get this Anudatta swara, etc. Anyway, so there is also a reason. The third reason that why a dhatu will be put in the tudadigana, even though we may not see anything. We may not see anything. For example, I think there's a dhatu, this dhatu is like sidati. Dhatu sidati. Let me just quickly show an example. I think this is a good example of that, I believe. It is dhatu shadlr. Let's see. Shadlr. If I can find it for you. In fact, I can look at right here. Sad, dhatu sad. In dhatu partha it is shadlr. So that is in two ganas, in the divadi ganaha as well as in the vadi gana. You're wondering why. So you look at this one. Shadlr visharana gatyavasadhaneshu vadi ganaha. Same exact thing. Shadlr visharana gatyavasadhaneshu tudadi ganaha. So this becomes sidati. Sad becomes sidati. So now you can, why is it dhatu in two ganas like that? So there could be a reason here. Maybe in the Vedic swaras there might be something. There is one more reason, by the way, which some of these are beyond this class right now. But what I'm trying to make this point is that anubandha lope, the shap also is akaraha, the sh also is akara only. Now we know two reasons to guna nishedha by the sarvadhatikam upit kiniticha. We know samprasaranam by the again same thing, sarvadhatikam apit and then grahijya ityadi samprasaranam. Now I give you one more reason, which is the Vedic swara here, which is the anudatta suppitau. Pit will take a different swara and this is a different swara, but that's only in the Vedas. But still Panini has to put those dhatu in the correct gana to get the correct swara. Now one more reason could be coming, which we I think we have seen in this class already. Because it says achi nadyor num. You know, when we saw the feminine form of these present participles like tudat or gachat, you take the form gachat and make it in the feminine, you'll get only one form gachanti as a pratipadikam in the feminine. In the feminine striyam, so in this case nadyor, nadi, so we'll get the num agama nityam when shap is there. But when it's a ad, this is avarnantaha prior to shatru, then you'll get the num agamaha only optionally. So become tudati, tudanti. So you'll have two forms also in the napumsakalinge prathama dvitiya dvivachanam and also in the strilinge. When you have the entire place, it become the pratipadikam becomes gachanti, only one form when shap is used, or whatever, patanti pachanti and so on. But when the Gana Vikarana sh is used, the num will be optional. So it will become tudati, tudanti, and so on everywhere. So this is the fourth reason why dhatu may put in this tudadiganaha and not. So if you look at a dhatu in tudadiganaha, sometimes you may see why is this dhatu here? Because by default they should all go in the bhuvadiganaha. But there are some subtle reasons. I just gave you two of them, which is in the Vedic swara difference in the num agamaha. Num agamaha also the difference. So these are the reasons why, and of course we know the guna nishedha, we know samprasaranam. So these are the reasons why dhatu. If you look at all these, Gana Vikarana list that we have been looking at, they have different forms. Shap is a akaraha, shan is a ya shabdaha, yakara akaraha, and nu is a nu. They all have different forms. Now, this is shnam, we'll see later on today if we have time. Then we have the u, we have shna, but these two are the same form. The shap and sha, anubandha lope akaraha. So you always have to ask the question. These are the only two like that, which are the same form, anubandha lope. So we have to think about why Panini has put a certain dhatu in one gana, not the other gana. So one more time, by sarvadhatukam apit, pratyasha is apit. So by kiniticha guna nishedha. So tudati, there's no guna adesha for the uka. That's the most obvious reason. Many of them will be like that. Many of these dhatus are like that. Guna nishedha. Some prasaranam are few of them, but there are only a few, but that's by 6.116 mainly. And then in Vedic swaras, by this sutram which I just told you, which is beyond the scope of this class, but anudatau suppitau. This pit will have a different swara. And then last reason which I gave you is that we have seen this sutram, which is the shapshano nityam, achinadyorum shapshano nityam. So shap and shan behave differently from this sha. So you will get the form only gachanti or patanti or pachanti and so on. We get tudati, tudanti, tudati, tudanti, two forms. So that's another reason. Okay, with that background now, let's dive into the tudadi ganaha. This is the gana which has quite a few dhatus, simple, straightforward ganaha. The first sutram, of course, is the apavada for kartari shap. Apavada for kartari shap. Shapopavadaha. Simple Vyakaranam by Bhattacharya Dikshita. So he won't waste any words, there's nothing special. The Sha Pratyaya is based off the verbal roots of the Tudadi Ganaha. This is the Shashtaha, when followed by Sarva Pratyaya, which is Sanya of Sarvadhatukam Kartari. So the same conditions which are for Shap, Kartari, Sarvadhatuke. Because we have been seeing that Kartari Shap Panini said, and the prior sutram had Sarvadhatuke Yak. So Sarvadhatuke and Kartari are common for all of these. So the steps are straightforward. By this time we should be familiar with them. If you're not, look at the daily examples and go back and you get practice. Again, many thanks to Kumud and Radha and Yulia for making daily examples. Very, very useful. So tud plus let, anubandha lopaha, tiptaji, yata yogyam, as the case may be. This is Prathapurusha ekavachanam, anubandha lopaha. Instead of kartari shap, instead of utsargaha, you get the apavadaha, which is sudadibhyashaha. And we just talked about that. Sarvadhatukam apit nikpat nitvat. So that's the prayojanam here, clearly, isn't it? That's the main prayojanam here. That's the mukhya prayojanam for this sha. I give you 4 reasons, but one of the main reasons is guna nishedha. So the puganta lagupata iti ukarasya gunadesha praptaha kinitichati nishidhyate. So it is stopped by the kiniticha. So now gunadesha becomes tudati. Once you get the angam tuda, your job is done. Then like bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, and so on. Means akarantam angam. So it becomes, I think we have the table here. So same thing, bhavati, tudati, bhavataha, tudataha, bhavanti, tudanti, and so on. Atogune and so on, jhuvantaha. Nothing special. Bhavasi, tudasi, bhavataha, tudataha, bhavatha, tudatha, and so on. Tudami, ato dirgho, yai, these places. You can practice those rules. So we'll not go in the class, it'll take too much time because, same thing. This is here, eruhu, tuyo statanga shishinatrasyam, loto langvat tasasripam tam tam tamaha. We have seen that's what the real examples are for. So once you get the angam tuda, Just take a table for bhavati and dhatu bhu and just replace bhava by tuda. These 4 lakaras, you get the same form, same rules. And this dhatu is is ubhayapadi. So because we saw in the dhatu pataha, this is a surita nunasika akara, surita swaraha. So by the surita gnatha kartavipray kriya phale, it basically becomes ubhayapadi. So then we get like labhate, tudate, labhete, tudete, and so on. Ato gnataha, all the same rules are going to come over here. So these forms. So I'm not going through in the class because we're going to slow down and there's no reason to repeat them all over again. That's what we have the daily examples for. Please practice. The simple thing is that when you get the angam to you get all the same forms like you got in bhavati, bhavata, bhavanti, and labhate, labhete, labhante, etc. Same forms over here. Okay, so that is the thing. Now let us look at some special cases now of in the tudadi ganaha. So she muchadi, now important sutram, she muchadi. Now these are also 8 verbal roots, by the way. 8. Don't confuse these two. The she muchadi now also list of 8. Ashtau dhatavaha. 8 dhatus. Not to be confused with what we saw in the class, Shama Mashtanam Nirgashani. We saw earlier in the class today. So that also has 8, a list of 8, complete different context. But so this one takes a Dirgha Desha when Shan follows. But now we're going to see a Num Agamaha. Look at the number 7159. We already have our friend next door. We already have a good friend next door, which is the Iditonum Dhato, which we have seen many times. Iditonum Dhato is just the Puram Anantaram Sutram, Anantaram Purvam Sutram, immediately preceding Sutram. Iditonum Dhato. From that, when you look at the number 759, you should be able to quickly tell that this is going to be something with the Num Agamaha. Because 758, Iditonum Dhato. That opens up a section of the Num Agama. See, now we are getting to go back to the neighborhood which we had gone before. It's like driving your car around the city, so to speak. You go back to the same block that you were before. That Iditonum Dhatoho opens up a section of Num Agama from 58 to I think it's 83. So from 58, 783 is this Num Agama section. We just saw right now. We just saw Achinadyor Num and Shapchanor Nityam, also the same thing, and we have repeatedly used the sutram with the charm Sarvanamasthani Dhatoho. So we use these rules, Napusak se Jalachaha, Ikochi Vibhaktau, and all these we have been using. So when you see numbers, now we have one more rule in that section. We have one more friend in that country, in that district. We have one more friend now, and that is She Muchadinam. She Muchadinam. So that sutram simply says that Mucha Lipa Vida Lup Sich Krit Kid Pisham Num Syat She Pare. So the 8 verbal roots, Muchlr Mokshane Mochane, Lup, so Much is to release, to free. Lup is to kind of lop off. Same in English to lop something off, to cut off. Lup to chedane, the word lopa comes from that. With the rabe, by the way, be careful. We already seen, we had the dhatu with in the Divadigana Vidyate, and then we also had it, with the Jnane in the, all this comes in Gita. It comes in Gita. Tasya karyam na vidyate. So vindatyatmani yassukham comes in Gita. Vindatyatmani yassukham vindati. So you'll get the daily examples. You'll get more and more examples. But in the dhatu pataha, if you look at with, it's in 5 ganas. And in Tingantam form, we get them in 3 ganas in the Gita. And we have seen all of them now in this class. So we saw the we have seen so far the Vidajnane, Vetti Veda, then we got Vidyate, Vida Sattayam, and we're just looking at Vidrilabhe, Vindati comes in Gita. We're going to see a little bit later on today. It's not very common dhatu in the Tingantam Padam, but it's there. It's also in the Rudhadiganaha, and also it's there in the Churadiganaha also. So so be careful, don't confuse all of these together. So this one is the one from the Tudadiganaha. And look at the numbers again. They're in the Ashtadhyayi order, 166, 167. So this section of the Muchadina. See, this says Atha Muchadayaha, Ashtav Muchadayaha, 8 dhatus Muchadigana, Dhatu Patha Anukramena, as per the order of Dhatu Patha. So, Muchru Mokshane, Lupru Chedane, to cut, Vidru Labhe, to get, to obtain, Lipa, to kind of, Lepa has to kind of to anoint, to smear, Nalipyate comes in Gita. Krutwapina Lipyate, it's a passive form, comes in Gita. Upadehe, Pisha Ksharane, Sinchati, Abhishekaha, right? Abhishekaha, form, Ksharane, to sprinkle, also, Kriti Chedane, Krintanam, to cut. So, Kartanam, I should say. So that is to cut, Khida Parighatane, not very common in this Gana, I think, and Pisha Avayave. This Khida also we saw Khidyati, we saw already in the daily example, I think you got one. I think we saw one, daily example here. Khidyate. So we had one here, daily example. So some of these also in different Ganas, two Ganas. So anyway, this list of 8 dhatus, they are in the order of Dhatu Partha. What's special about them? Ko Visheshaha is the Num Shepare. Shepare Num. So She Muchadi Nam, She Saptami. Tasmriti Nirdishte Purvasya. So this we have seen the Paribhasha Sutram that when Panini uses a Saptami, then the operation is to be done on the prior element. So when this She is a, here it is, Tasmriti Nirdishte Purvasya. So She is Saptami. So when Sha Pratyaya follows, it's going to Num Agama. That's it. That's the only special thing. So when these 8 dhatus, and there are a few of them very important dhatus, they get the Num Agama and the Pratyaya Sha. Just one little tweak. Everything else you already know. So Rukara is a Swarita Swaraha. So it's going to take Bhayapadi. So we take up to this point all the same. Bring out our usual steps. Vartamane Lat Anubandha Lopaha, Tipta Ji, Tip Pratyaha, Anubandha Lopaha. And instead of getting Kartari Shap, we get the Tudadibhya Shaha. And then Anubandha Lopaha, Lashakvatadite, and then we get She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam, She Muchadinam. Very nice, sweet, simple sutram. Very nice, very friendly sutram. She Muchadinam. The sutras have personality. Some of the sutras are tough with you, Some of them are very kind to you. Some of them are very short. Some of them are kind, but they are long. This is a nice, very beautiful sutra. She Muchadinam. They also have personality for them. Just like a friend that you have, very sweet friend that you have. She Muchadinam. So Numagamaha, then of course Viduchvantyat Paraha, and then of course after the last vowel, so the Antyaha Ach is Ukaraha, Tasmat Paraha, Num, so Numagamaha, and then Halantyam Lashakvatadite. And then we have to use, don't forget Sandhikaryam now. Let's not forget that, our old work, that's why we did the Sandhi rules first. Siddhanta Kaumudi, Pattujit, all the Sandhi operations first, because they are common to all of these places. It's like knowing arithmetic. You have to use it everywhere in life. So that has to be done. So use Nashcha Vadantasya Jhali, Anuswaraha, Anuswarasya Parasavaranaha, Munchati. There's no Vikalpa, because only Vapadantasya. This is not Padanta. So this is no Vikalpa. Don't write like this. This is not good to write like this. This is incorrect. That is incorrect with the Anuswara. You have to make the Parasavaranaha. That Vikalpa has only Vapadantasya. The Parasavarana has to be done. That's 8459. Only Padanta Anuswara. So Vapadantasya. But Anuswarasya Parasavarana Nityam over here. So Munchati. So now, I think do you have it in our document here? We may not have it. So that's it. Once you form the Angam Muncha, same thing again. Munchati, Munchataha, Munchanti, Munchasi, and so on. All the same thing. Same instead of Bhava, put Muncha. Instead of Lava, put Muncha and get all the forms. Same forms. Now, one more special case, Achivibhasha. This is very not, see, these were 8 dhatus. always know the domain of each rule, how much power this rule has, how much power it wields in the world of grammar. Now this one is only when the pratyaya sha follows, but it has important dhatus. Much it has look, it has with important dhatu here. Lip also is not uncommon, sich is not uncommon, kriti chedi not uncommon. So it's an important rule. The next one, achivibhasha, only for one dhatu gru. Gru is try to, I think in bhashayamupi, prasiddha bhashayamupi. Ayam prasiddha bhashayamupi. So bhashayamupi prasiddha means in Hindi, gilati, I think he swallows, right? And in all the vernacular languages, he can to swallow. So gru. Now this thing, why are we taking this dhatu, especially what is special about it? Well, you can practice something. We're going to get practice of the Anuji in the class today, so we can practice her rule, which is the iritonam dhatoho, and then the, sorry, not that one, rutai dhatoho. Rutai dhatoho, we can practice that. But beyond that, we can also have the special rule here, which says girate he, there's a sandhikari here, watch out, girate he repasya lova jadav pratyay. Very, very simple sutram. It says that this repa of the dhatu gru will take the lakara adesha optionally ajado pratyay pare. Now when we bring in the pratyaya sha to the adibhya sha, it's going to be ajadi pratyaya anubandha lope akaraha. The usual warning, when you're going to see ajadi, haladi, ekach, anekach, all these things, always remove the packing. Anubandha lopaha, first thing anubandha lopaha, then only think if it's ajadi or haladi or whatever it might be. Remove the packaging. This is not part of the pratyaya. They're only passing messages. The it letters only pass messages. So don't remove that first. So this pratyaya sha, anubandha lope akaraha, will be ajadi. So everywhere you're going to have this vikalpa. So this one more time. Girate he repasya. Look at this sandhikari mein girate he. So sutram rori has been used over here. Girate he repasya lova jadav. So laha va ajado pratyay. So this dhatu gru dhadi gana nigarane, to swallow. I think also might be sometimes might also be to narrate, to tell, it might be. So gru nigarane dhatu patha number 6.146. There's no it letters, so by sheshat kriti parasya padam. Nothing special as usual, lat and tip, etc. Then to the adibhya sarvadhatikam apit kniti gunanishedha. So then with no gunadesha, we get rutai dhatoho. If the rukara of a dhatu, ending rukara, which survives the guna operation, no gunadesha, it gets the ikara adesha, rutai dhatoho. But if there is a guna adesha, that is parakaryam. So that has to be done. Then there is no more rukara, so then we have dona. But otherwise, if there is no guna adesha, then we have to do this rutai dhatoho, guna or vruddhi as the case may be. If the rukara stays as a rukara, if it survives the guna or vruddhi, then rutai dhatoho. So the rutai dhatoho, all these rules you have to practice. They are already in the sutra suchi. Rutai dhatoho, rutai dhatoho, 71100, rutai dhatoho. Ridantasya dhato rangasya. The angam should be a dhatu ending in rukaraha. Itsyat. Very simple, straightforward sutra. Rutai dhatoho. This is the greatness of Panini. How he breaks down the language into optimized bits for us. So we get the uran raparaha becomes girati, and then finally achivibhasha. Girate here pasya lova jado pratyaye. That's in 8.2.21. So that's be the last operation because that's in the Tripadi section. So 8.2.21, because this one is coming. Anuvati of Guru was coming down, so we get we have seen, we saw this one. Now we have a friend, not next door, but one house over, upasargasya yatav. We had that. We already have seen 8.2.19. So not that this area is too new for us, not very familiar, but we have one friend over here. We have looked at this sutra. It always gives the context of where you are. So 8.2.19 we have, which is upasargasya yatav. Ayati parasya upasargasya yore pastasya latvam sat. So we have the Palayate. So palayate. So when this ayagatau, when that one follows, then the refa of the upasarga, ayati parasya upasargasya. Yo refa tasya lattam syas. We already have seen that sutram. So this section is not very unfamiliar to us. We have a nice friend, one house over, upasargasya ayato, achi vibhasha is vadhate guru. So that's the only special thing, nothing really very important. But anyway, it's interesting. This dhatu is reasonably important, so we put this in document here. So again, if you don't know this rule, you can easily look it up. It's not that difficult because you know all these steps you know until the form girati. Only the last thing you need the lakara desha. And we already know that the 8.3.19 we have used upasargasya ayatav. You can look around there and try to take a chance. You know, refasya lakara desha. Right? We already had it. Purvam drishta asmabhi. We all seen it. Tat samipe sutram bhavet. You'll be right around there. So it becomes girati as two form because it is va. Now I think one more dhatu here. Dhatu mru najayate mriyate va kadach nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Very famous shloka of Gita. Najayate mriyate va kadach. This thing is never born and never does it die. Najayate mriyate 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 mriyate. Why is it? Najayate mriyate va kadachin. Here it is. Najayate mriyate va kadachin. Nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So Atma is never born, never does it die. Anyway. So that is, we already saw Jayate, by the way. We just saw it. Nyajanor Ja. In fact, this is not shloka of Vyakaranam, but I'm sure this was not composed of Vyakaranam, but we can practice these two rules. We can practice the Nyajanor Ja, and we can also practice today's rule, which is the Mriyater Lunglingoscha. Okay, look at the number on this rule. Look at the number, 1361. Now, we have been using happily all along our very familiar rules, which is the Anudata Gnita Atmanipadam. If the dhatu on the it vowel, be careful, on the it vowel, if any, has Anudakta Swara or the Kavarga Panchama as an it, Nakaraha, takes Atmanipadam. We also have been using very confidently all this time, nothing wrong with that. We have been using this sutram, which is Swaritagnitaha Kartavipray Kriyapale. So if the it letter, if any, has Svaritasvaraha or the Chavarga Panchama, in that case it takes the Atmani Padam, you know, Kartavipray Kriyapale, but that condition is not honored in the language, is not followed. So basically this makes a dhatu Uvayapadi because Sheshat Kartari Pras have been using. The rule that we are seeing right now is this one here. Mriyate lunglingoscha. Lunglingoscha. So now this has to be something to do with should we be using Atmane Padam or Prasya Padam? This should be domain. For the rest of your life, if you see a number in the Ashtadhyay from 1.3.12 to Apada Samaptehe up to the end of 1.3, immediately know the Vishaya, the subject matter, is about using Atmane Padam or Prasya Padam. So this is like a monopoly game, you know. You have this territory that you have mastered now. From 1.3.12 to end of 1.3, the subject matter is this Atmane Padam and then Sheshat Kartari Prasya Padam. So if you see a sutram 1.3.61 right now, then this must be Panini saying something about, because Panini is saying something about when to use Atmane Padam, when to use Prasya Padam. And in fact, you can go one step further. You can go one step further because we have this rule Sheshat Kartari Prasya Padam. So prior to that are going to be Atmane Padam Vidhanam. So by default at the end, Panini put the Prasya Padam by default. But prior to that, he has to take care of all those cases where Atmane Padam has to be used. Because he put Prasya Padam as default, Atmane Padam he has to put the cases. So this one is going to be telling you something about Atmane Padam. Atmane Padam. Atmane Padam. So, because this sutram which we also saw, our other friend, which is 74. I'm sorry, I have to use the Devanagari here. The sutram which is 1374, which we have been using, Suritagnitaha, is this, no, I'm sorry, 72. This is also important sutra, but that's not what we want. Okay. Surita itaha nitascha dhatu atmanipadam syat, atmanipadam syat. Same thing. Kartrigamini kriyaphale. Okay, let's see what this one says now. Okay, this dhatu, before we get started, let's look at the numbers. This dhatu mring pranatyage, to give up your life, I mean to die. Basically, it means to die. It simply means to die. It means to give up your prana, means to die. Pranatyage. So 6.139. Let's look in the dhatu part. Before we go over here, let's see in the dhatu part, what is the vyavastha? This is the padam vyavastha in dhatu parta. In dhatu parta, it has the ngakara as an it. So we could be nicely be using the anudatta gnita apanipadam. Why do we need this sutra? Why do we need this sutra? Because in dhatu parta, this dhatu already has the kavarga panchama ngakara as an it. So we should be able to use anudatta gnita apanipadam. So that is the first question, that why has even Panini put this sutra? That's the question to immediately ask. Well, we'll see why. Because what does Sutram say? Mriyatehe. Look at this. Look at Mriyatehe. Ikshtapo dhatu nirdeshe. Ikshtapo dhatu nirdeshe. Pratyudpatya shtip has been used. So Mriyati. So, Mriyati. In fact, you are going to see shortly the form is Mriyate in Gita and the Jayate Mriyate. But in the Sutram, Panini doesn't worry about it. The pratyaya is shtip. Shtip. So even though Atmanipadam is there, but the pratyaya shtip only will be used in the sutram to refer to the dhatu. Doesn't matter that the form in the language is mriyate. In the sutram, Panini will only use ikshtipau dhatu nirdeshe. So only shtip he will use. So mriyatehe. So mriyatehe. So following this dhatu mriyatehe lunglingoscha. Lunglingosha shitascha. Prakriti bhutan mringaha. So when the dhatu mru is the angam basically for a shit pratyaya or for the lung or the lung, when such a mru dhatu is there, so mru dhatu, so following a mru dhatu, so prakriti bhutat mringaha, so panchami. So following a mru dhatu, which is a prakriti, which is the base, either for a shit pratyaya or for lung or lung, lung langoho. So this is lung lingoho. Absolutely, I'm sorry, lung lingoho. When lung or ling, these don't affect us right now because when we get the gana vikaranaha tudadibhyashaha, we're going to have the sha pratyaya following. So first of all, we're not saying lung lakara at all right now, and the vidiling, we're going to get the gana vikarana sha in between there. So these two do not affect us right now. We don't have the lakara lung right now. Ling will only come in ashi ling, because here we'll have the gana vikarana sha intervening. In the ashi ling, just not to sidetrack at all, but in the ashi ling, what happens is that ashi ling pratyaya gets the sanya of ardhadhatukam, and you will not get the shap or apavadas of shap. In the linga shishi, the tiptasji, etc., get the sanya of ardhadhatukam. At that time, you will not get shap or sh, anything like that. So that lung lingo, that ling in the sutram is talking about ashi ling. So that's these two will not affect us, because right now we're going to have pratyaya, gana vikaranaha sha coming. So shitascha. So when the dhatu mru is the angam, and then the prakriti, the base, and the sha is following, then tang nanyatra. Then only you have to use atmanipadam, not anywhere else. Of course, tang is a pratyahara, ta, atam, ja, etc. up to the id mahi vahing, id vahi mahing. So atmanipadam. Nanyatra. Now how do we get that? This is our usual paribhasha, which is the siddhe satya arambho niyamarthaha. Siddhe sati. Siddhe sati. Like we saw sutam ratsasya, our when going back now to last year, maybe a year and a half back. Remember we have the sutram which is sanyogantasya lopaha. Sanyogantasya lopaha 8-2. Sorry, I'm sorry, 8-2. 8-2 sanyogantasya lopaha ratsasya. Now here it says following a repha, a padanta saka takes lopa. Why do we need this sutra? Ratsasya. Because Sanyogantasya lopa ityanena siddhyati. We can have this sakar lopa Sanyogantasya lopa, but siddhe satya arambhaha niyamartha. To limit. So the usefulness of Ratsasya is actually to exclude some cases. Is to exclude that following a repa, only sakara will go padantaha. Others will not go. So limiting the scope of Sanyogantasya lopa. That's called niyamaha. So niyamaha means it limits the scope of another sutram. So Sanyogantasya lopa also already was telling us that if you have a sanyoga at the ending letter will go away. Then Rasasya comes and says that if you have a repa, which is the second last member, and the ending is sakara, sakara will go. So why do we need that? We don't need that sutram, but that says that if the repa is the penultimate, then only ending sakara will go, others will not go. Comes in the Chamaka Prashna, Urkchame, Sandata Chame, in the Chamaka Prashna, Urkchame, Urk, that Urja Pradipadikam, that ending kakara will not go away. So this sutram Ratsasya limits the application of Sanyogantasya lopaha. Similarly here is that Siddhe Sati, we already had the sutram Anudatta Atmanipadam. In spite of that, Panini is saying Mriyate lunglingoscha, lunglingoscha, lunglingoscha. That means that look at the Vritya Bhattoji, says that lunglingo shitascha prakriti bhuta mrungaha tang nanyatra. In other cases, it will not take after pratyaha. So one more time, this dhatu mrung has the kavarga panchama as an it. By anudatta gnita apnipadam, it should take apnipadam all the time. But this sutram comes and says that this mru will take apnipadam only when it is the angam for a shit pratyaha, the prakriti of a shit pratyaha, or of the lung or the ling means ashi ling. Means in other cases, it will take parasmai padam. So it is limiting the scope of Anudatta Gnita Atmanipadam. It's saying that this dhatu will not take Atmanipadam all the time. It will only take in these cases. And right now we have Pratyaya Shit, Pratyaya Sha, which we're going to use. That's basically all it is saying. But this was a good example for us because, we have been using these sutras, without looking into more detail. We have been using 1.3.12. We have been using 1.3.72. We have been using 1.3.74. We aren't looking more into it. We should keep these remaining sutras in mind because there are a number of rules over here which will change the Atmanipadam Prasyapadam. Some of them based on Upasarga being there, some of them based on some derived dhatu, some of them based on some meaning. So today we got a taste of this sutram, of this section of the Padavyavastha, which Panini does. So Mriyate Lunglingoscha is just one example of these rules from 1.3.12, which we know, up to the end of 1.3, which talk about the Prasyapadam. So there are quite a few rules here. I'll go up to, so there are 82 rules. We have only seen 3 of them. Today the 4th one. Now we got 4 ones. There's still 78 rules over here. So we should not just jump to the conclusion all the time, like, just because Anudatta Padam has to take Padam everywhere. We have to come and check this section. There might be something here which Panini says that, do this in this meaning. Upasargas, they do this and that and so on and so forth. So this sutram is only for this single dhatu, but it makes an important point that we should keep this section in mind before jumping to a conclusion about Atmanipadam and Parasyapadam. Again, we cannot take all these in the class, but it gives this section that we have to keep in mind. Okay, then once we have that, then it says, it is just the usual steps. Again, the lakara, this case pratyata will come because Pani says tangana atmanipadam, so tang is coming, and then tudadibhya shaha. Now what remaining steps is that anubandha lopaha. Now here one more thing to practice for us. Ring shag lingshu. Let's not forget him. We have been using him. Ring shag lingshu. We have used him in the passive a lot when we use the pratyaya yak, when we used like kriyate, riyate, when we use that, because ring sha yag lingshu. Pratyaya sha is mentioned there. So this is how this here. That time we ignored this sha and the ling. Now ling we don't need, that's going to be ashiling again, but the pratyaya sha we have now. So just like we had in the passive with kriyate and riyate and driyate and all that, Same thing here. If you have a rukaranta, rasa rukaranta dhatu, followed by the gana vikaranaha sha, then it's going to get the ringa desha nitya. Nitya will be alontyasya sthane. So ring shag lingshu, now we're seeing another part of that sutram. We use that sutram for the pratyaya yak. Of course, that's by far more important, but the pratyaya sha also is in there, so let's not forget him. Let's not forget him. So we have ring shag lingshu by nitya. Nitya, it becomes only in the, because anekachi sarvasya, when you do any adesha, look at sutra chatushtayam, which is alontyasya nitya adef padasya anekachi sarvasya. The moment you utter the word adesha, immediately look at the sutra chatushtayam, the set of 4 rules Panini has. Alontyasya nitya adef padasya anekachi sarvasya. Anubandha lope ringa adesha anekal repa ikaraha, so anekachi sarvasya, but then nitya. That's why Panini has put the nakara as a nitya. We don't want to remove the entire dhatu. You only want to remove the rukaraha, make it mri. So in the place of rukara only ri comes, so mri ate, and now comes the yanga deshaha, achishta dhat bruvam yor yungamangau, because this is the ri came in the place of rukara of the dhatu itself. So this ri is also now becomes part of the dhatu, and so the ikara is a dhatoho ikaraha. So it will not take the yanna deshaha, it will take only, of course, we have to, this pratyaya sha is sarvadhatukam pit, there is no guna adesha possible here. So iyanga adesha, and then becomes mriyate, najayate mriyate va kadachid. So remember the sutras, which is the mriyate lung lingoscha, then ring shag lingshu, and then achishta dhat bruvam yor yungungo. So this is why you see the Tinganta Prakriya of Panini is the heart of Panini. Now we are going to the top of the hill of Vyakaranam. We're going to the top of the hill. So have some patience. Some of this might be a little bit hard for you, but once we go down, it'll be a lot of fun. Going up the hill is difficult, right? Going up the hill is difficult. We're going up the hill right now. We're going to be at the top pretty soon, maybe in a year or so. No, even less than that maybe. After that, it's going to be going down the hill. It's going to be easy. You're going to enjoy, have more fun. But this is where you have to have some patience and some perseverance. So, and this cannot be made easier than this, because Paninian way is the shortest way to do it. So, Mriyate lunglingoscha atmanipadam is niyamitam. Only when this mru is the prakriti for lung, or this ashirling, or the shit pratyaya, ratna pratyaya sha. So we got the ta pratyaya sta. Then we used the ring shag lingshu. We had a rukaraha, rukarantamangam, followed by the pratyaya sha. Then we got mri, and then iyangadeshaha mriyate. Okay, I think that ends the discussion of the Tudadiganaha. Now we have only about 15 minutes left. I don't want to be too late for Ramayana like last time. We have to get Sita back one of these days. So let us introduce this section of Hrudadibhyashnam. Okay, we'll introduce it today. We'll continue next time. This is not going to be so easy, because now what's going to happen is that we will not have a akarantam angam anymore. See, in the case of the pratyaya shan or the pratyaya sha, we got a nice akarantam angam. So once you got the angam, we could happily go and just substitute like bhavati, bhavata, bhavanti, and so on. We could make divyati, divyataha, divyanti, and tudati, tudataha, tudanti, and so on. Now we will not have that. Drudhadiganaha, we're going to get the ganavikaranaha shnam. So let's look at the shnam. This is also apavada for shap. Now we just went through this sixth gana, shashtaha ganaha, tudadibhyashaha, and the anantaram sutram sorry, tudadibhyashaha was 77, 78 tudadibhyashnam, saptamaha ganaha. The ganavikarana shnam. Sutram is very simple, nothing special. Again, shapopavadaha, same thing. Same, Bhattaji makes only one comment. Shapopavadaha has only one thing here. So it says shnam pratyaha is based after dhatu, kartari sarvadhatuke. Kartari sarvadhatuke. Same. All same old. From kartari shap on the same. Kartari sarvadhatuke. Navritti coming down goes from kartari shap, and also sarvadhatuke from sarvadhatuke yak. But now the shnam has this makara as a nitya. So Midachvantyat paraha, it's going to go inside the dhatu. It's going to be fixed in the dhatu, inside the dhatu. So we are going to be exposed to the ending, whatever the dhatu ending it is. Most likely it is going to be a hull. So we're going to have to worry about these hull sandhis. Not only that, another complication is that which we have already seen. Which you have already seen is the sutram which is 64111. Which is Shnasoral Lopaha. So not only do we not have Adantamangam, but when the pratyaya following is kit nit, we get the akara lopaha of the shnam. Okay, before we go too far ahead, in the vikaranaha, in the pratyaha shnam, by the shakvatadite shakara is a nit, and by alontyasya makarasi sanya tayor lopaha, tasya lopaha, then anubandha lope na shabda, nakara akaraha. But, just like we saw before, when we had the shnabdhistorataha, when we saw, when in the case of dhatu as we saw, when the pratyaya is kit nit, then it behaves differently. The pratyaya following is a kit or a nit. In that case, we are going to get the akar lopaha of the shnam, of this na shabda. We're going to become only nakaraha. That creates one more complication now. One more complication. So we're going to have to deal with sandhi rules. There is also going to be some other one or two things. So we'll not be able to go straightforward like that. We'll have to pause at some steps and go through, more forms than we would. Okay, let's take a top level example. Now, before we go on, is apavada for shap. So one more time, shnam pratyaya is placed after the verbal roots when rudhadi ganaha. When followed by a sarvadhatuka pratyaya, it is used kartari. Rudhadi is not a big ganaha. I don't think it is. It's pretty small, I think. Rudhadi, how many does it have? Rudhadi has, 25 only. Only 25. It's a small gana. It's a small, but it has some, bhungte in Gita comes in hinasti. Hinasti atmanatma, hinasti, bhungte is there coming. So these are some dhatus are here which you have to deal with. Now, so yeah, we cannot ignore this one. But it has only 25 dhatus. I think just like we had in the Jyotyadikanha. Basically what is happening is that these dhatus which behave strangely, kind of strangely, have few dhatus. There are only few of these strange guys. So they are going to be the small ganas. So I think also in the Jyotyadi, I think also we had about just 25 we had. Yeah, Jyotyadi 25, 26. So same thing here. These are the ones which behave differently. They are strange ones. Okay. So now what's the purpose of the shakaras and it? The makara is spashtam. So that we can put it in the Midachvantyaparaha after the ending acha. That's easy. But then the shakara, normally we say ting shit sarvadhatukam, which is fine. We can say that. But atra prayojanam nasti. See, the ting shit sarvadhatukam is used to do the gunadeshaha sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho puganda laghupatasya and so on, to do some anga karyam. But now this vikarana is going to go inside the angam. It will not be parataha. It cannot act on the angam in any way really. So there is no prayojanam for the sarvadhatuka sanya. Sarvadhatuka sanyayaha prayojanam nasti. No prayojanam. So there is no point calling this sarvadhatukam because there is no use. That sanya has no use. They cannot do anything because this will not act on the angam in any way. It will only go and be infixed in that. Then what's the use of this sakars nitya? This is because visheshanartham. So Panini can refer to this gana vikarana hashnam in the sutras such as, we're going to see a sutra later on, maybe not today, we're out of time now. But next time we'll see a sutram shnanalopaha. Look at the number, 6423. We have a good friend next door. Our next door neighbor is 6424. Najatam halupadaha kiniti. Nakar, in fact, the nakar lopaha comes into 6424 from 6423. Shnan lopaha. Today we will not have time. We'll see it next time. Shnan lopaha. The point is that, see, Panini can refer to this shna pratyaya. Because of this, if he just said nan nalopa, after every nakara would have gone the whole language. See, Panini wants a way to refer to this na, not any other na, to distinguish it from any other na. Visheshanartham. So that is why Panini put the shnam rather than just making it num. If Panini only said num, then it will be difficult for him to clarify which na is he talking about. But then he can say shnan lopaha. We immediately know this is going to be karana. This is the shnam pratyaya. Nothing else. Nothing else can be shna. Same thing in 64111, which we just saw right now. Just seen before in dhatu as shasoral lopaha. Here also same thing. So this, in short, this is not for ting shit savadhatukam. Prajana bhavat, prajana bhavat, prajana bhavat. There's no prajanam for that. So we have to take this only visheshanartham, because if it's not going to follow the dhatu, this will not be an angam for that. So there be it cannot act on the angam really. We'll look at an example right now. We can look. Let's go just one step. Let's just follow some steps here. First of all, dhatu is rudhir. Avarane. It's tend to cover, to block, to obstruct. Rudhir. So rodhanam. So this rudh is avaruddha, is to constrain, to block, to obstruct, to like cover. So many of these dhatus. This is ir as an it by we saw that vartikam before. Ira is sanya vacha. This entire samudaya ir gets the it sanya. It's not prutak it. We don't want to deal with the iditonum dhatoho. So the ir gets the is sanya word, but the ikara of ir is svaritasvaraha. So we have to, it will be basically ubhayapati dhatu svritaha mitaha kartavyapraya kriyaphale. So let's look at the prasyapadam case. Let's go through first few steps. Ridha plus lat, vartamani lat, anubandha lopaha. Prathama purusha ekvachanam pratyaha tip, anubandha lopaha. Now what happens is that the get the ridhadibhyashnam, shapopavadaha. Instead of kartari shap, the ridhadibhyashnam. Now because this shnam is a myth, because of the midachvantyat paraha, it goes after the last vowel of the term to which it was prescribed. It goes after the last vowel of the term to which it was prescribed. So here we have this dhatu, ridh, took this Gandavikaranaha shnam because the pratyatip was following kartari sarvadhatuke. So now it's going to go to the last vowel in ridh. So it becomes r shnam dha. Now the point that we're making here is that this ru is not the angam for shnam. It was prescribed to rudh, not to ru. This shnam pratyaya was for dhatoho, was for the rudh. So yasma pratyaya vidhi, tadadi pratyaya angam. So this angam is, this ru is not, because pratyaya vidhi was made after rudh, not for ru. So this cannot, you cannot say that, yasma pratyaya vidhi. So by 1.4.13 we had definition of angam. Yasma pratyaya vidhi. So this was for dhatoho. So rudh is the dhatu. So this pratyaya was prescribed not to ru, but to rudh. So we cannot start saying now that the shnam should do guna adesha for the ru. It cannot, because that's not the angam. Because remember, guna adesha comes in the angasyadhikaraha. Obviously it comes there, because the sarvadhatakayoho and the puganta laguputasya cha. It cannot do that now, because now it's gone inside. The ru is not the angam. Ru is not the angam for the shnam, because it's prescribed to rudh, not to ru. So that's what the point we were making before. There's no prayojanam for sanya of sarvadhatukam. But now we deal with sandhikaryam now. So we have ru, shnam, dha, ti, viduchantyat paraha, and then the angam was rudh, and then but now it's gone inside there, so it cannot act on this ru. And then anubandha lopaha lashakpatadite halantyam. After that we get the now sandhikaryam. We deal with that. In fact, this gana, to be honest with you, is a good practice. It's a good practice for sandhi rules, which we have learned. This gana will give us a nice drill to practice our sandhi rules. So jashastator dhodaha jashaha. We have this dhakara is a jash chaturtha varnaha. Tathoho. We have takara following jashastator dhodaha. Dhakara deshaha become ru nadhi. Takara sisthan dhakara deshaha. Jasparatah is following a jash. So then jashaha paratah is following jashaha. Jashastato, jasha is panchami. Jashastator dhodaha. So jashaha following a jash. And then jalam jashi becomes because this is a jal letter followed by a jash, which is the titiya varna, chaturtha varna here. So it becomes a jash adesha, titiya varna, runadhi. And finally, of course, the nattam. Atkupanyum vavayapi, atkupanyum num vavayapi. So we have the vyavadhanam is only of the ukaraha. So it's at letter. So we get the runadhi. So one more time. Ridadibhyashnam, apavadaha kartari shap. Speciality of this is that it goes inside the angam. This shakara is in it not for things shisaratakam visheshanartham. So that in the sutram shnanna lopaha, shnasura lopaha, we know exactly what Panini is talking about. And then, so there's no angakaram as such, but the problem is that we have to have the sandhi rules now. We're going to get this angam which is not going to be ending in akara. So in akaraha, so we have to deal with the sandhi rules. In this case, jashastator dhodaha. Nothing complicated. We have to do them. And jalam jashi. And of course the nattam finally atkapanum vyavayapi. Now let's go to this. We have on yes.
One quick question. If you don't have the time, we can discuss this later.
Okay.
In Siddhanta Kaumudi, it says natpasya asiddhatvat anuswaraha parasarnaha.
Yeah, I think it's talking about the next form, Vasu. After what form, we are going to come to that. He's called, okay, this is the next form, Vasu. Because he's going to talk. Let's hold on for question. Let's do the next form, then you know the answer. Okay. We are going to come to the list. We are out of time. We only have 5 minutes. Let's just do the Dvivachanam and then we'll give form. I don't want to be too late. Every time we're rushing for the next class. So I want to just one more form, which is this one, the Dvivachanam. And we'll also answer Vasu's question along the way. Okay, I skipped this one. Is it? Okay, I'm sorry. We missed one over here. Okay. All right. Let's do this one more second. I guess we're going to be late again. But Dhatu Brashja. Tudadi Ganaha. I didn't know we had this in the document. Brashja. Tudadi Ganaha. There's no new rules over here. It becomes Brijjati. How it become Brijjati? Let's go through the steps. So this is Tudadi Bhyashaha. So up to this point, Brashja Shati. What happens is that Anubandha Lopaha we get Sha. We're going back to Tudadi Gana for a second here because I skipped this Dhatu. Now what happens? It takes some prasaranam. Pratyasha is Savradhatukamapit. Then it's going to becomes Nitvat. So then we can apply this 6116. Nit Pratyaya is falling. 6116. 6116. So it has the Grahijya, Vai, Vyadhi, Vashti, Vichati, Vrishchati, Vichati, Vrijjati, and Apcha. Dhatu Brashcha. Take some prasaranam. Pratyaya is Kit or Nit. Sarvadhatukamapit, we had a Nit Pratyaha, Nitvat Pratyaha. We get the Samprasaranam, takes the Rikaradesha, and then Samprasaranacha, Puraparyoho Ekadesha, Brishjati. Then we get Stoshchunashcho, Brishjati, and finally Jalam Jashi. So nothing really too special here. Only thing is that this dhatu in the list of the Grahijya list, it took some prasaranam because the pratyasha is sarvadhatukamapit became nitvat, and then sandhi karyam, of course, samprasaranach, purapuryo ekadeshaha, nistoshchunashchuho, then jalam jashchi become jalam jashi. Jalam jash. This is tricky sutram to pronounce it correctly. You have to watch out for this sutram. 8453 says jalam jashi. Jalam jashi. So anyway, we got the Brijjati. Once you have Brijjati, then you can get the whole table. Brijjati, Brijjata, Brijjanti. Only thing was Samprasaranam, Sandhikaryam. Now, Dhatu Kru is also here. Just like we did Girati, same thing Kirati, same thing here. Because this Kru, this Pratyasha is Sarvadhatukamapit becomes Nitvat, Unanisheda Kniticha. Then we get Ruta Dhatoho becomes Kirati. You just had that Kirati. There's a typo here. We don't need. Okay, give me 1 second. I guess. Okay, let me just correct this because this one is for Gilati. We had this. There's a typo here. Give me 1 second, okay, please, because in Kirati we don't need this Achivibhasha. That's only for Dhatu Gru. Only for Dhatu Gru was that Sutram 8 to 21, not for Dhatu Gru. That's for the Pakshika Lakara Deshaha. That was not for here. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me correct this one. I don't want to leave it on the board because, we might have some look at the board. So I know time is out, but give me 1 second. I don't want to leave an error on the board because problem. Okay, so in Kirati, we don't need this last step is not, we just put Kirati. Okay, Kirati. So after Rute Dhatoho, we are done. Rute Dhatoho, we should be done. Okay. Okay, so Kirati is the final form. Now, and then Kirati, Kirataha, Kiranti. And the Dhatu Pracha, I mentioned to also take some prasaranam because that is in the list of Grahijya list. List of Grahijya, the same sutram which we just saw, which is the Niticha. So when the Pratyaya is Kit or Nit following, these dhatus take some prasaranam. The Pratyaya Sha is Sarvadhatukam Apit, becomes Nitvat, becomes the Refasya Rukara Deshaha, then Samprasaranacha, Puraparyoho Ekadeshaha, becomes Prichati. Prichati, just like we had in Brashcha, similar thing here, Prichati. So becomes Prichava Samprasaranam. So Prichati. Now, okay, time is out. This is the second form. We'll continue next time. Rundha, Rundhaha. I'll go quickly through the steps and in 2-3 minutes we'll continue next time with this Dvachanam. Let's look at the steps over here, okay? And we'll continue with this one next time. You can take for homework these some rules. I don't want to rush too much. At the same time, I want to go some reasonable speed. So let's look at this one form. If when you take the Dvachanam, the same Dhatu Rud, again it's Uhayapadi. We look at Prasyapadam right now. When we add the Pratyaya Tas, what happens is that same Gana Vikarana Shnam, Rudhadivya Shnam comes over here. Now comes Shnasoral Lopaha. Shnasoral Lopa, because this Pratyaya Tas is also Sarvadhatukam Apit Nitvat. In the prior case we had Tip. That's why we didn't get Shnasoral Lopaha. But now this Pratyaya Tas being Apit Sarvadhatukam, it becomes Nitvat by 1 to 4. You realize now how important 1 to 4 is? We use it all the time. So because once it becomes Nit, we get Shnasoral Lopaha. Rundha Tas. Now the which Vasu was just saying from Siddhanta Kaumadi. I think I made this point long time back, but now we have a chance to practice that. Look at this situation now. After we did this Nasoral Lopaha, and we will go through again next time in the class, then we have Rundha Das. Then we'll do the usual Chashastra Dhodaha. Now we have Rundha Das. At this point you might ask, can we use the Atkupvanyum Vyavayapi, do Natvam? Or should we be using the Naschabdantasya Jali for Anuswara? Look at the numbers. This Anuswara Adeshas by 8324, Naschabdantasya Jali. The Atkupvanyum Vyavayapi is 842, Purvatra Siddham. That's why Bhattuji in the Siddhanta Kaumadi Bhattuji says, Natvasya Asiddhatvat, because that has to wait. The Nakaradesha Atkupvang has to wait because even if it is done, it will be Asiddha in the eyes of Naschavrantasya Jali. So we're going to do the that's what Vasu was saying, Siddhanta Kaumadi. We have to do the Anuswaradesha, but Nattam is Asiddham over here. Then what happens is that we got the Anuswara by Naschavrantasya Jali. I put the note over here. We'll do it again next time. It's an early rule. It is in Ashtanga. It comes before the Sutram Atkupam in the Tripadi section. So the Nakara Adesha, which would have been done by Atkupam, Asiddha, what Siddhanta Kaumudi is saying, and therefore we have to do the Anuswara Adesha first, Naschavrantasya Jali. Then what we do is that we do the same Sutram, Jalam Jashi. Jalam Jashi. And after that, we have to do Anuswara Parastavaranaha, which is 8458. So we already went beyond the Sutram Atkupvanyam Vayapi. So this is the Panini's greatness. You see, this Tripadi of Panini is really a masterpiece. As I said to you a few times, one of the highlights of human intelligence. One of the highlights of human intelligence is the Tripadi of Panini. So look what he did. He skipped this entire section of 8.4. natta prakaranam by doing the anuswara, quietly anuswara adesha by 8.3.24, and then coming back and putting the nakara back by parasavarna. So, but what happened in the meanwhile was that this nattam was lost in between. Like a word like grantha, same thing. When we have this nakara followed by, jal, apadanta nakara, it takes the anuswara adesha by 8.3.24. And then quietly by 8.4.58, we get the parasavarna. But in between, we crossed this 8.4 section, 8 natva prakaranam, 8.4.2, etc. So that's why Siddhanta Kaumudi says that first anuswara is to be done, nattvasya siddhatvat, and now this parasavarna is asiddha in the eyes of Atkupma. So we cannot go back and do the nattam anymore. So the bottom line is that the nattam is avoided. When you have apadanta nakara followed by a jal, we first get the anuswara by 8.3.24, and we skip the Atkupma, etc. Come back and do parasavarna, and then we are done with it. And then this next we see in the class next time, 8.4.65. Okay, for homework. For homework, 8.4.65, jaro jari savarne. It is a sandhi operation rule, nothing to do with the rudhadigana as such, but we need that. Good practice. So for homework, 8.4.65, where the pakshika lopa of this jar become rundha, runddaha. Then this set of 3 rules for homework. I'll give you only small homework, which is the I'll give you one more homework, which is the I'll give you 2 homeworks. First, jaro jari savarne, 8.4.65 for homework in the form runddaha, rundhaha. Then we'll have this set of very confusing rules. Watch out. Very confusing rules. This is the 8.2, 73, 74, 75. We'll do next time. And last one, which I already told you, is 8.6.4.23, Shnannalopaha. So Shnannalopaha, and then the set of 3 rules, which is the Tipyanastehe, Sipidhatururva, Dascha, and then jaro jari savarne. Okay, let's stop with that. Again, today is the Dinanka Ashtamaha, 8th of October, Saturday. Vyakaranam Vibhagaha. Next class will be on the 22nd. Ramo Raja Munissada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamo Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Raman Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhoramama Buddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranamatattuliyam Rama Namavaranane Shri Rama Namavaranana Onnamaiti. How are you doing, Vasu?
Oh, fine.
Rabi, okay, Rabi?